Myself, Dr. Kalpana Nagpal. I'm a teacher by profession and a researcher by passion. And presently, I am an associate professor at Amity Institute of Pharmacy, Amity University, Uttar Pradesh, Noida campus. And I have so far 9 years of teaching experience in three international universities of India, mainly lovely professional university, APJ Satya University, and Amity University, which is my current employer. So, as a teacher, I have introduced various interactive teaching learning strategies in my classroom just to make it more interesting and engaging. If I talk about my research, my interest area is using design of experiment-based approach for designing chitosan-based nanodrug delivery systems for treatment of neurological disorders, psoriasis, cancer, with comparatively lesser side effects of medicines and better therapeutic effects. So, starting from my life, I must say, from schooling, I was the recipient of various scholarships and fellowships, like prestigious Gates Fellowships or C.V. Raman Scholarships. And in recognition of my contributions, I have been awarded the prestigious Haryana Yuva Vigyan Ratna Award in the year 2021. And I'm the member of Indian National Young Academy of Science, that is INYAS of INSA. So far, I have 44 international publications in international journals of repute, with 5 book chapters and 3 books to my credit. Till date, my publications got 1,727 citations with an S-index of 17 and an I-10 index of 26. Moreover, I am the editorial board member and reviewer of many quality international journals of repute. If I talk about my early life and education, I hail from Uttar, Haryana, in a middle-class family. My father, late Shri Untitled Nagpal, was a postmaster, and my mother, Shrimati Ramesh Kumari, is a retired Hindi teacher. So I did my schooling from Hisar only. Very humbly, I wish to share that I was a district topper and a scholarship holder right from my school till the doctorate degree. So I was a university gold medalist in B.Pharm, that was 2003 to 7 batch, and in M Pharmacy also in 2007-9 batch. I was awarded my doctorate in the pharmaceutical sciences from Guru Jambheshwar University of Science and Technology in the year 2013. In my family, I have 2 elder brothers also, and my parents, they always encouraged me to take my own decisions towards higher studies, but they wished me to stay in my hometown only. So I completed my whole education from Hisar. If I talk about influences in my personal life, so basically, my parents are a true inspiration for me. My father, he was a postmaster, and he always performed his central government services with full dedication and honesty. He always encouraged the human values, hard work, and taught me to avoid the shortcuts for true learning, actually. And my mother, she served as a teacher, as I already told. So she inspired me to be punctual, disciplined in life. And that actually helped me a lot in having that work-life balance and achieving my goals and targets in time. And my 2 elder brothers, they actually pursued science, engineering. So they always used to talk among themselves about science and engineering. They were doing printing technology course. So that always fascinated me with science and created a kind of interest for science in me. But my inclination was a bit towards life sciences. So that's how I have chosen the pharmaceutical sciences as my career, even though I was a mathematics student in 12th standard. So I took physics, chemistry, and mathematics as a subject. But in pharmacy, both mathematics as well as biology students are allowed. So this was like how I entered into pharmaceutical sciences, and the environment around me was such a true inspiration to do what I wish to. Even despite there were financial burdens and all, but the human values that I have taken from my surroundings, my environment, my my parents the most, they actually groomed my decision making and my self management skills, self motivation skills, and ultimately it improved my self confidence throughout. That's how I have grown up. Yeah. Actually, my mother, she is uh, a, what you can say, a patient of ulcer. Okay, so that was a gastric ulcer, and she was so much disappointed with. She cannot eat anything which is fried. Even she cannot cook whatever was fried. Right. So we used to take a very normal diet. Even for her, it was boiled things, whatever she was taking. So uh, my decision making towards pharmacy was basically to heal her, to treat her in a better way. Like, as if I know about what can treat or heal her ulcers, especially if it is in the GI tract, it is like the whole family is eating something common, right? And out of that, she cannot cook or take that whatever we were eating. So there was a kind of special food which was being treated to her. So I felt it very bad. Like, I think I must be aware about what I should give it to her, what advancements are there in the medicine. That's how it created a personal kind of interest for me. Like, I should find a solution, a permanent solution to it. Like, what I should give it to my mother. Like, that's how she can heal it properly to that ulcer kind of thing. And ultimately it worked out well. So we were having a list of the things what she can eat, what she cannot. That's how we all were taking that kind of diet only, so that we all were like, we should not take over fried things, we should not make fried things at home. That's how not only our cooking practices they were changed, but at the same time the nutrition value was even better. That was one of the sustainable development goal these days for 2030, right? So I can say that since the past 20-25 years, I'm following that that sustainable development goal towards nutrition, I must say. Yeah. So, well, whatever hard work we do, if we get flavored by an achievement, it's a big celebration, a big motivation, and milestone to you to work even harder, right? So, the story even started with the decision-making activities at school level, which actually turned out to me be a district topper tag with a middle class exam and senior secondary exam, which made me motivated with the strategy I was following for my professional career. So, on presenting one of my master level research work formally at a national level conference in front of top notch scientists of pharmacy, where I bagged the first prize for the best poster. Receiving that, though, I could not calm my nerves, but yes, it was another breakthrough which landed up pursuing further research, and I got registered myself for doctorate in pharmaceutical sciences. Interestingly, I got selected for two scholarships, that is Sir C.V. Raman Scholarship, which is given only to two candidates throughout Haryana, and Inspire Fellowship. So among them, I chose Sir C.V. Raman Scholarship. So another very important milestone was getting my work published in a journal with impact factor 5. And one of my supervisor, Professor Shailendra Kumar Singh, he was so happy to hear that he threw party in his group on that occasion. So it was really a very precious moment for me as a student. I mean, I used that experience to move forward for the next step with even better results and to get that satisfaction kind of thing in science. So another thing was landing up with my first job teaching pharmacy course. Although the role was reversed from student to a co-learner, but that job has opened plenty of opportunities in front of me so that I can climb that career ladder. So among the major milestones, the very close to my heart is the announcement of the Haryana Yuva Vigyan Ratna Award for the year 2021. I received that award in year 2022 on this Science Day, February 28th. So for that, I had many sleepless nights before and after being honored by Honorable Chief Minister and Governor of Haryana. So what I can say is all the hard work and dedication was actually culminated in the form of getting promoted to associate professor level in December 2021. So that was also a kind of deep sense of satisfaction. which I think was quite tangible and rewarding at the same time. So, if I talk about research, my research journey revolves around utilization of chitin nanoparticles for treating neurological disorders like anxiety, depression, memory loss, pain, breast cancer, psoriasis, ulcers. So, uh, other than my research, if I talk about as a teacher, I was always eager to introduce new techniques and tools to my teaching learning and to make it more engaging, more fruitful. And I was always eager to learn science and try to create that interest in my youngers also. In the society where I used to live, I tried my level best to educate the kids for which belong to actually financially poor section in my own hometown by teaching them after my own classes in the evening. That too was free of cost. I mean, I believe that such noble cause will actually not only improvise my confidence in content delivery and teaching, mentoring, but also it makes you feel more blissful at the same time. So, for teaching, actually, I was awarded as a student favorite faculty award in the year 2014 among the whole faculty of health and allied sciences in lovely professional university, Punjab. Not only this, I bagged the second position in Learning Symposium I3 competition, which was held in August 2021, and it was organized by University of Witwatersrand, Johannesburg, South Africa. So, receiving that international honor was actually one of another milestone that I've achieved at younger age only because of my surroundings and the blessings that I've received so far. And if I talk about the milestones of my personal life, the major one, well, if I say personal journey milestone, I cherish each and every moment of my life so far. So if I got few exciting ones, receiving my first scholarship in the standard 9, which was actually uh, transforming to board merit scholarship to gate fellowship, then Sir C.V. Raman scholarship, and finally my paycheck, which always kept me financially sound to continue my studies with a big satisfaction. So, also being the youngest in the family, I was always pampered with no responsibilities at all. So, for me, becoming an independent person after marriage and taking responsibilities like purchasing grocery, traveling in metro for the first time, being entering into metro city as I was working first with APJ Satya University in Gurgaon and now in Noida. That was another exciting moment for my life. And yes, my first flight trip, and that too directly to US for attending a conference. That was really very exciting. Another thing I wish to mention here is the most crucial moment of my personal life. Unfortunately, in the last year, November, I lost my father. Although loss is a part of life, but this one was quite devastating and one of the hardest pain I have ever received. However, I'm blessed to have his teachings and so many lovely memories with me. So now everything I do is in honor of his teaching, and these memories actually drive me forward every moment of my life. So these were a few major milestones of my professional as well as my personal life. So if I talk about the influences in my personal life, my parents are actually a true inspiration for me. My father, who was a postmaster, he always performed his central government services with full dedication and honesty. He always encouraged me the human values, the hard work, and taught me to avoid those shortcuts for true learning. So, my mother actually served as a teacher. She inspires me to be punctual and disciplined in life, which helped me a lot in having that work life balance and achieving my goals and targets in time, I mean, younger age time, right? So, my two elder brothers who pursued science engineering, they always fascinated me with science, as I told you, and created interest for me in science. So they used to talk about science a lot among themselves. There was a very less age gap between them, like they were like gap of 2 years only among them. But for me, it was like from my brothers, there was a gap of 6 and 8 years correspondingly. So I was like more inclined towards what they are speaking about. So, with respect to time, my inclination towards science was even better and better and better. And that environment around me was actually a true inspiration to do what I wish to. And I was more inclined towards life sciences. Uh, Along with my interest, the human values that I got from my parents that actually groomed my decision making and self management skills. Ultimately, that improved my self confidence throughout my life. And if I talk about influences in professional life, I was very much influenced by one of my professors, late Dr. Life, lab failures, experiment gets failed, still you're working. Another person, Dr. Pradeep Kumar, he is also from my place, but later on he shifted to University of Witwatersrand. He always encouraged me for getting my work, whatever I was doing, to get published in my what you can say reputed journals domain, the scientific domain, so that I could get highlighted over there as well. Whatever I was doing, I was able to propagate it to the scientific domain people. So if I talk about the inspiration for me or influences for me in professional life, I am very much influenced by one of my supervisors, late Dr. Shailendra Kumar Singh, for overcoming those daily life failures in experimentation during my lab journey. Also, Dr. Pradeep Kumar from University of Witwatersrand, South Africa. So they both of them always encourage me for doing good experiments without having fear of those failures. And they always encourage me for publication of my scientific work. They wanted to come up with such a good uh, result coming, what you can say, in the form of a reputed journal, right? So that the work, whatever I'm doing, should come in the scientific domain. And they taught me that I should not get discouraged with failures of experimental results. Rather, I should keep on moving, which creates passion and motivation for me towards research. Another thing that I wish to mention over here is Dr. Singh always kept me away from the negative thoughts, that political thoughts and all. He was a part of department, but I had always been given opportunity to take my own decisions while working on any strategy in my lab. It actually helped me grow as a researcher along with a teacher. So overall, if I say he has provided me that kind of good environment for research so that I can work better for life sciences and ultimately for the mankind. Yeah. The major thing, what I feel in myself is my self motivation towards whatever I was doing. I was constantly developing that kind of self confidence in myself. This thing I felt even during my schooling. I can share one of the incidents of my school where what happened. I was actually facing quite difficulty while I was switching from Hindi medium to an English medium school because I was performing very well in studies. So my parents decided that I should switch from Hindi medium to English medium so that I can pursue whatever career I want in my professional life in the years to come. So I was a very new member to a class, right? So my teachers were not aware about how I am performing to that much extent. What they were aware about the previously attending class students. So one day, what happened once my exam was getting released, the results were getting released. So I received my report card. So what happened there was a totaling mistake over there And I went to my teacher saying, at that time it was the class in charge who used to distribute, and he was actually responsible for creating that kind of result and putting it forward so that it got signed by the parents also, so that they are aware about how your kid is actually performing. So once I've gone through that report card, I was getting fourth position in my class. That was like I performed well, but how come it is like this is happening? I just uh, again get my marks totaled. So what I found was there was a totaling error, and if that could be treated well, the result could be making me to switch to position two in my class. I went to my class in charge and asked him to correct that. What he said, I have to make all the corrections now. What I can do, I can adjust those marks for you to the next semester. So I was surprised with his attitude as well as the kind of what you can say the solution of the problem that he was putting forward in front of me. So at the same moment, without even consulting, and even on the same day, same moment, I decided to reach to the higher authority that was the principal of my school. So she used to be a quite strict lady. Every student has a kind of fear interacting with her directly. So fearlessly, I went to her, I entered inside her room, and she said, yes, what happened? Why you are coming without your parents individually? I said, it is a matter of concern for me. That's how I am here with you directly. So she said, okay, what is the problem? When I explained this to her and the solution that was put forward by the teacher, even after requesting multiple times, so she called upon the teacher, and at the same moment it got revised, and I was able to have that revised report card being shown to my parents, who were actually looking forward towards me, that how I am performing, because they were inputting lots of effort for my studies, right? They were arranging money so that I can uh, be studying in a school which is of English medium, right? So my fees was almost 4 or 5 times to the school in which I was actually studying earlier. So for me, it was a big responsibility, and how the way the teacher has performed was like he or she should not perform the way it was. So it actually inspired me to be joining as a teacher. At the same time, I should do justice with my students. There should not be any biasness or discrimination or such kind of attitude which makes you feel demotivated as a student. So if I talk about the teaching choice as a career opportunity or a career option, so that incident actually motivated me that why I should join teaching along with that research kind of stuff. The research was mainly inspired by the medical history of my mother, who was a patient of ulcer. But at the same time, I'm having dual responsibilities like teacher as well as research. So coming into that, the teaching profession, that mindset of a teacher, I actually wanted to shift. So that's how till now, whatever class I'm teaching, the attitude of the student may be in whatever mood they are, they actually used to give an online feedback. But fortunately, I have never received a feedback percentage below 90% in any of the class. So that's how I used to take regular feedback from my class. That is actually also a kind of area where I can improvise further while I'm teaching, so that the concept, that technical knowledge should be very much clear to the student. So that's how I make it more interesting as well. If I talk about success, in my personal opinion, success has many fronts. Like, I mean, if I talk about intellect, so utilizing it for the service of mankind will be actually a success. At the same time, providing yourself that kind of comfort zone to achieve what you wish to accomplish in life is actually another success. Satisfying by one's own performance not only in family but also at workplace, is another meaning of success, with an ultimate goal to stay happy in whatever you do in life, right? And if I talk about the failures or the challenges, there were many at multiple stages. Like uh, as I told you, that my parents admitted to me to a new English medium school in the class six. But when I attended that new school, I was not able to understand the concept, as the terminologies were quite different in English. Like if I talk about Jama Ghatta Guna Bag in Hindi, the same word like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and addition. So I was losing my confidence because I was not able to understand at all the concept, as terminologies were quite different. Even the concept was the same. So what I used to do, I used to go to school at the same time, saying that, oh, my stomach is aching, my I have headache today. So what they do, especially a van used to come and take me back to home as I was not feeling well, which was actually not the reality, but I was pretending it to be like I am having some kind of medical problem. So my father actually was very much keen and observed it well. My mother was very strict. She said, you just go outside and work, and then you will realize what is the importance of money. And we are making to you to study well, and you are making our efforts useless. But my father had a different thought process. As he was observing it very keenly, he guided me to prepare a separate notebook where I started noting down those terminologies in both Hindi as well as English language. So that notebook actually became my real key to get back my confidence, and I was again the topper of my new class of English medium. So that's how I learned that challenge is another way of, you can say, testing our skills and ability, how smartly we are overcoming those challenges by properly planning it in a even better version. If uh, same or similar challenge attacks you again, yeah. So that's how success and failure stories were there in my life. Yeah. So far, whatever I have discussed for my life as a story, what I learned is life is quite unpredictable. Especially, I felt that because I lost my healthy father. He was not at all ill. But I think we must accept this bitter truth that life is unpredictable, and we should keep on, keep moving on uh, for whatever we have learned with them, and we should make it our strength rather than weakness, right? And another important lesson that I've learned was, whatever we do, we may not get paid off for the same day or what we are doing, but someday or the other, this will help us generating the incidences into experiences, and such experiences actually transform our challenges into opportunities. So, as a young woman scientist, I feel that with willpower and that kind of being, with self motivation and discipline, if we move very systematically, we can definitely create a better future, not only for us, but for the younger generation to come. And we should never, never, ever give up, because negative results, they are never waste. So, learning will always be there if we move on in a planned way with a definite strategy in plan. Right. It could be like I told you that my parents actually wanted me to stay in my hometown only and study there. But I think I could have managed better. I could have told them in a quite better way that please allow me to go outside, because I was getting admission in very, you can say, renowned and prestigious organizations, even in pharmacy, like NIPER, Punjab University, Pitch Pilani. So that exposure can make me even perform better. This is my personal, or we can say, gut feeling. So I wish if I can go back 10 years or 15 years. So I could make my parents feel in such a way that I should be having a better wings to fly. I should be given more exposure. I should come out from my hometown even at earlier stages, right? So that that kind of what you can say, like the moment I was flying for USA to attend a conference, which was actually sponsored by DST, SERB. So there was at the back of the mind, I was excited although for moving towards for getting that international kind of exposure, but at the same time I was having that fear kind of thing that how I should be managing all that stuff by my own. But fortunately I was being guided by my brother, that what steps I have to perform. But even if I would have been given the opportunities uh, to get exposed to better environment with more people, that kind of self decision making for choosing the college or the town where I used to study. So maybe I could even have performed better to whatever I did till date. Yeah. So, in my opinion, the young girls and those social change makers, they should be more aware, more attentive. They should value themselves and their thoughts. They should not feel shy that at least should try. You should not feel like, what if my parents will scold me, and there can be a kind of uncertainty that whether I should be getting good opportunities out there or not. Maybe better, my hometown is the best place for me. That's why my parents are encouraging me to stay here only. So at the same time, one should respect each other's decision making power. And I think the young girls these days have better facilities of internet resources. So they should utilize those resources to stay alert about various schemes. And there are so many good initiatives already taken by the government to encourage that women education, and there are so many opportunities for them to grow well. And one should seek guidance from their seniors also to seek in the STEM field, right? So there is a long way to go to bring that change of sustainable development goals of 2030. But being multi-talented as young ladies, we must create and enjoy that change of sustainable development, I must say. Well, if I go through the 17 goals to transform our world to form a sustainable development goal. So, as a woman, I think I'm living sustainability by adopting at least 10 goals in my lifestyle, which are like first one, if I say, I'm bringing home an income to my household as an attempt to end poverty. That is sustainable development goal one. If I talk about the second one, I'm preparing quality food for better nourishment. So at the same time, trying or I'm attempting to end hunger and improve the nutrition at the same time, avoiding that kind of junk food and all. If I talk about the third sustainable development goal, I'm working on development of phyto nanomedicine based delivery systems so as to ensure the healthy lives and promoting well-being of all at all the ages, right? And for sustainable development goal 4, I'm promoting quality education and lifelong learning opportunities, especially to the younger generation. And as an INEAS member, I'm planning to organize so many outreach activities which will not only create awareness about science in students, but also we are planning to have the teaching sessions for the teachers so that not only the school teachers but also college teachers, both from the rural as well as urban area, will get benefited. So that sustainable development goal 4 for quality education, that also I'm trying to promote. For sustainable development goal 5, I'm creating awareness among both the girls as well as boys so as to achieve that kind of gender equality and empower all women and girls by delivering quality lectures. And one of my sessions, which was as a keynote speaker at IIT Indore on the occasion of Women's Day this year, that is very close to my heart because that helped me achieving or moving towards that goal of Sustainable Development Goal 5, I think women is the most vital member in two families as well as at the workplace to create awareness for societal changes. And for Sustainable Development Goal 6, I try to create awareness to properly utilize water as a resource in a adequate manner. Because if it goes inadequate water supply, it may be a problematic situation, especially for the rural areas, if we do not manage that resource well. Other than that, I'm trying to maintain proper sanitation, not for myself, but also motivating the hygienic practices at home, at my workplace, among the students. That will actually improvise that family health condition. Not only family, but everyone's, right? So the COVID-19 times actually have taught us so many lessons to maintain that hygiene and the best possible ways how we can avoid being attacked by COVID, right? So this was related to Sustainable Development Goal 6. If I talk about the seventh goal, I have made it my habit to use that clean source of energy and always turn off that electrical devices or vehicle whenever they are not in use, so that there will be insurance that uh, access to an affordable, reliable, sustainable mode of energy is there for everyone, right? And being a part of paid wages working women, I'm contributing towards an inclusive and sustainable economic growth, being a working woman, right? So I try to motivate the students for achieving that gender equality and protect my students from any kind of discrimination, because I am working with a co-education environment. So the boys as well as the girls, they are treated equally well if they are being treated by me. And the same I'm trying to propagate among themselves also. So if we talk about Sustainable Development Goal 9, being the decision maker in my lab work, in my opinion, my efforts are contributors towards a sustainable future that will foster the innovation ultimately. And breaking that kind of stereotype that women should not be educated much. Very excitingly, I wish to share that I'm the highest qualified member among all my siblings and cousins. So my parents actually blessed me with education, and which I feel it can be the torch bearer towards the government initiative of so-called Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, by reducing that inequality. And this is like the Sustainable Development Goal 10, which is actually towards reducing that inequality within and among the country. So, with these, I think these 10 sustainable development goals, I'm trying imbibing, living a sustainable lifestyle. I mean, actually, what I feel is both health and education, they're the vital component of any society, right? So, being associated with teaching as a profession, as an associate professor at Amity, and doing so many outreach activities at under the umbrella of INEA, and research for developing new and better medicines to treat various disorders, I feel myself very fortunate to contribute to the society in my own way by contributing promotion of that lifelong learning opportunity for all, right? I'm trying my level best to impart that quality technical knowledge and skill to the younger generation and help them out by mentoring the students, so that the imbibation of that human values is there at the same time. That will help them not only for their personal growth, but also professionally, they'll grow well. And if I talk about as a researcher, my efforts are towards developing phytoconstant based medication with better efficacy, lesser side effects, and this will ultimately lead to a healthier nation, promoting well-being for all at all age levels. Like despite whatever age group they belong to, they should have a healthier lifestyle at the same time. It's quite emotional, but I want my father back because uh, not in my control, but yes, he was a big support for me always. Uh, I used to talk to him at least 4 to 5 times in a day at each front. He was more a kind of friend to me rather than you can say as a parent. So I wish if I can get him back, I want to be with him forever. Yeah. So if I talk about myself, so far, whatever I have achieved at a very young age, what I wish myself is to utilize those things for betterment of society. Like if I am a member of INYAS at the moment, because I got that membership in the year 2022 only. Okay. So very fortunately, in the last meeting of INYAS, I have been given the responsibility of being co-coordinator of Delhi NCR chapter for those those outreach activities. Okay, so I wish if whatever we are trying to achieve, like I mentioned about 10 sustainable development goals, and that is like for 2030 that we are planning to achieve. If I can be the young ambassador to bring out those changes somehow by bringing that kind of wave, especially in the young girls. So that would be a kind of what you can say satisfaction for me. So that my life would be a kind of satisfied one. Looking forward to those young minds, young age, that yes, whatever we have felt throughout our journey, we respected those moral values. I want that to be a bit back again by motivating them because in the young age, frankly speaking, these days we are not finding that kind of zeal, especially in the metro cities, right? So they are a bit lacking in human values, although we are trying our level best to make it happen again. But if I can bring that change back as a young ambassador, keeping those human values at the same time, thinking in a logical way to bring that change so that uh, all those whosoever are working with that common goal, if we can achieve that at a level not only at a city level but broadening our scope of whatever we are doing at global level. So I would be very much satisfied with that. So once I have done that rafting kind of stuff, and that was really exciting in Rishikesh, I did that. And similar way, I wish to do such activities like bungee jumping you are talking about in a quite exciting way in the years to come, definitely. Another important to-do list, what I have made for myself is to learn driving so that I should be a bit more independent towards traveling because somehow I missed in my early days, right? So I want to travel more independently, I mean, to fly more, to visit more and more countries, to have that international exposure. I so far have visited only a single country, that is USA. It was a very exciting experience. But yes, I wish to travel a lot independently. Yeah.